Hi, my name is Kristen Remidez, and today I will be presenting to you all about sleep and dreams. My introduction. So basically what I'm talking about is how dreams affect us in and out of your sleeping, along with one specific article on how your diet affects your sleep and your dreams, and how your dreams can affect your lifestyle. So first, one thing that I learned during this was that dreams help with performance, rejuvenation, and basically your overall healthy state of mind. And some things that contribute to how you sleep are your diet, and some diseases that can occur in your sleeping, such as sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, chronic insomnia, and sleep deprivation. Okay, sleeping's purpose, along with some of the purposes listed on the last slide, sleeping's purpose is it can also be treated as psychotherapy treatment. I found this very interesting in the way that it gives patients basically a safe place to connect between their past memories and their trauma and current events that are going on, which can help with them recovering from whatever happened to them. And sometimes this can be even better than a doctor because the doctor they haven't experienced what the patient has experienced, so it can be better for them connecting with themselves rather than them connecting with another person. The one area of sleep that I found particularly interesting was REM sleep, or rapid eye movement sleep. It's a stage of sleep that it's basically where dreaming occurs, which is why I was particularly interested in it. And it's where the consolidation of your memories occurs throughout the day and throughout your life, which can also relate to the psychotherapy treatment, because the consolidation of memories, there can be memories of their trauma and their past. Okay, my research question was, how does your diet affect your sleep? My article was effects of diet on sleep quality, and this was basically an experiment where they gave people different foods or different diets and recorded their sleep and what type of sleep they had gone through, which I'll explain in later slides. Why I chose this was because I was just curious about this, and it will relate to what I want to do in the future, which I want to be a neuroscientist and study sleep. I thought this article would go into more detail than any other research article, and I would learn more new things that I didn't already know. Okay, the materials and methodology. So there were 11 different experiments conducted within this one investigation, which was basically 11 different diets that they put individuals on. They used human subjects in this experiment. I don't know the exact number, but there were a lot for each experiment. So some of the diets had a controlled diet before to basically to know the difference between their normal diet and their and the specific diet that they were put on, and then they would leave on their different diets for 1 to 5 days, and then they would record the sleeping patterns for all of the 1 to 5 nights. Okay, so the results. This is one of the tables that they had. This is a table for the first experiment that was conducted. This right here is the study, which the study was the same for all of them because that's the person that conducted the study. And then this, for the first experiment, the HC/LF diet versus LC/HF diet. That stands for high calorie versus low fat diet and low calorie versus high fat diet. And then this experiment, their subjects were 8 healthy men, and it was conducted over 4 days. Their methods, as you can see, this one had a controlled diet for days 1 to 2, and this is the specifics of the diet. And then for days 3 to 4, because this experiment lasted 4 days, it was the individuals. Half of the 8 men were. So 4 of the 8 men were put on the high calorie, low fat diet, and 4 of the men were put on the low calorie, high fat diet. And then the results over here. So I'll explain this later, but the SWS sleep was lower and with the high calorie, low fat diet. And then, the SWS sleep was lower in the controlled diet rather than the high calorie, low fat diet. And then the REM sleep increased and in the low calorie, high fat diet, and the NREM sleep increased with the high calorie, low fat diet. Okay, so some of the results included for each of the 11 experiments included an increase in REM sleep, SWS sleep, or slow wave sleep, which is slow, like your brain waves are slow, and SOL sleep, or sleep onset latency. And then the same thing, which was a decrease of those types of sleep. Some of the 11 experiments had no difference between their controlled diet, and so basically it was ineffective. Okay, so the conclusion. The results in relation to how the different diets can affect the stages of sleep. So this is basically saying that it was describing how the different diets affect your sleep and your dreams. And one thing that this investigation confirmed was that there's a direct correlation between your diet and your sleep quality. And then it also showed specific types of food and what food affected what type of sleep. One way that this investigation could be used in the real world is if someone was lacking on a specific type of sleep, such as REM sleep, and that was affecting them in their life. They could, if a doctor had been informed of this investigation, they could basically prescribe different foods to them to eat so that they could get their type of sleep that they needed. These are my acknowledgments and my citations. Okay. Any questions? Okay. What? Well, the different investigations, it depends what type of sleep you would need more of, because each investigation affected it differently. As you can see in the first investigation back here, if you were looking for more REM sleep, you might try a high calorie, low fat diet. And yeah, as you can see in the results right here. So. What? I don't know. I don't think so. Okay.